Adikwa okay, loke, me and my people them. Adikwa okay, loke, me and my people them. Adikwa okay, loke, me and my people them. Oh, I remember when I did so far away. I remember when I did so far away. I be Bobo, now I be Bobo. Bad pressure Bobo, I get it dollar. Time to fly, it is time to shine, you. Time to high, it is time to spray money. Whether them off the lights, we go to see the shine, you. We know they die, we go to multiply, you. All the people want to die, Mr. DJ slamming for me. Body me big body, baby me wine for me. Oh yeah, JJ go wine slowly. So far up there, no shaky, no shaky. Who I be a year ago? From the street I know they slow. From a jar to the world, oh, yeah. Started on my own, now I end up on your radio, on your TV, see me, oh, yeah. Hallelujah, meje, oh shit. Better make way, I'm on a great, oh shit. Bad but no seke. Hallelujah, meje, oh shit. Blessings follow me and to follow you. I'm watching a blessing, season. It's oh, yeah, go and tell your mother, say, all is in order, all is in order. Oh, yeah, go and tell your people, say, all is in order, all is in order. My sister, oh, yeah, go and tell your neighbor, say, all is in order, all is in order. Oh, yeah, go and tell your people, say, all is in order.
Impact 102.1 FM is where you at. Now you know.
The king of radio is here. High Impact 102.1 FM.
The business terrain can be tough, challenging, and murky. You need to be armed with superior intelligence, resilience, and knowledge to be able to triumph. Do you desire to thrive in business and become a reference point? Then join us every Monday on High Impact Radio 102.1 FM for TLIG, the Land is Green Business Show. Showtime is on Monday from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mopolu Shade, Shonaike, and Kehinde Ajose are your hosts. It promises to be educated, empowering, and thought-provoking.
Good afternoon. Welcome to another Monday with us on the TLIG Business Show. As usual, we have a wonderful guest here for you today, and we're going to be talking about natural ways of managing lifestyle ailments for entrepreneurs. Health is wealth, really. Kenny, do you agree?
Yeah, so health is wealth.
Health is wealth.
How wealthy you are, you need to take care of your health.
Of your health. Yes, amazing. And with us in the studio today, we have Mr. Usman Imana, the CEO, Frisker Farms Limited. And he'll be here to do justice to this. We already started the gist outside, so I promise you, you're in for an exciting ride. You're going to learn a lot about taking care of your health, why it's important to take care of your health as an entrepreneur, why sleep is not for the weak, and so on and so forth. So let me just make welcome our guest today, Mr. Usman Imana.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, for those who do not know you, yes, thank you for that warm welcome. For those who do not know you, can you just briefly tell us who you are?
Okay. My name is Usman Imana. I look after Friska Farms Limited. We are an agribusiness manufacturing company in Nigeria on a mission to providing sustainable and affordable solutions to nutrition, health, and wellness. So we do this through a couple of products, but we're focused mainly on health, on food that is affordable and nutritious and that has health and wellness benefits. We've been in business for close to 10 years now, and I mean, it's been good.
Amazing.
We can't complain.
Amazing. I love the way you introduce yourself, where you say, I look after, with such humility. I look after Friska Farms Limited. And so you say your focus is providing healthy and affordable foods.
Affordable and nutritious and affordable solutions to nutrition, health, and wellness.
Nutrition, health, and wellness. Many people, when they hear all this nutrition, wellness, in their head they're thinking it can never go with affordable. So I think let's start from there, because I like the fact that you said affordable, nutrition, health, and wellness. How affordable is it to make sure that you're taking care of your well-being?
Funny enough, it's not as expensive as you think if you have the time. They say every business you try to solve a problem. So you're either solving for X or you're solving for Y, or you are solving for Y and X. As we have in our maths equation. So there are some things that are not necessarily mutually exclusive, but if you think about it deeply, you'd see that most of the things that you need to do to stay healthy are free, but they are they are life choices that require a level of discipline, right? Which doesn't come cheap. Discipline is not being disciplined to do the things that you need to do to stay healthy. It's not easy, right? And then in terms of food, so because of the way the world has evolved, everybody doesn't do subsistence farming, so we have to buy food. And food becomes very expensive. But the truth is, if you are really deliberate about making healthy choices, they might not be popular or comfortable, but it's possible to, with a little research and deliberateness, to be able to eat healthy, live healthy. In fact, it's cheaper for you if you are conscious than even just living anyhow and unhealthy.
Okay, so you mentioned discipline, and that seems to be like the major challenge the average business person, average person out there. That seems to be the problem they encounter when it comes to, because no matter how familiar you are with this natural health regimen, you still need discipline to stay true to them. So how important, I just want you to stay on discipline, how important is it?
So we're talking mainly about entrepreneurs, right?
Yes.
You can't even run a successful enterprise without discipline, because discipline is being able to do things that you need to do consistently, over time, even when it's not comfortable for you. So I would assume that as an entrepreneur, you are already somebody that is disciplined to an extent, because for you to put systems and structures and systems in place that will work consistently to deliver the value that you are giving to your customers, there is a level of discipline that is required. It's just a matter of translating that discipline into your life choices, right? And I don't think you can achieve it without discipline. Sometimes the discipline is deliberate. Sometimes it takes a life-threatening incident to enforce that discipline on you. But one way or the other, you need that discipline to be able to, consistently make the right life choices.
Okay, so an entrepreneur is actually maybe listening right now and asking, what are the major steps, the average entrepreneur needs to take when it comes to, embracing that healthy lifestyle?
So personally, I say that there are 3 numbers that you need to watch.
Okay.
Because so you have most of the ailments that people have. If you do the research, you see that most of them are lifestyle ailments as we grow older. I mean, there are genetic disorders that you don't have control over, but the ones that come as we grow older are lifestyle challenges, right? And there's a research that 75% of people above 35 are either hypertensive, diabetic.
75%.
Yes. Yeah, in sub-Saharan Africa.
That's
Wow. Ask her.
Or obese, that's overweight. 75% have one or more of these 3. If you are able to fix these 3 things, chances are that you reduce the amount of life-threatening diseases by more than 75%. And to be able to manage these things, there are 3 key numbers you need. There are more numbers that you need to watch, but if you can watch these 3 key numbers, chances are that you will live a longer and healthier life. I'm trying not to speak in absolutes because there are many variables
Of course.
you know. So these 3 numbers are your blood pressure, your blood sugar, and your body mass index. Blood pressure, blood sugar, body mass index. There are other things that one needs to check, so cholesterol but if you can zero down to these 3, because most of the ailments that people have after this 35-40, they are tied. These are some of the root causes. You know, let me step back and explain something. So a lot of times people try to mix up things, and it takes a bit of enlightenment. So there are symptoms of ailments, and there are ailments themselves. So symptoms cut across different type of ailments, but the root causes are unique. So somebody that has so one of the let me put it this way. One of the symptoms of diabetes is frequent urination, right? For men, frequent urination, and I think even women. But there are other ailments that can have that same symptom. So symptoms can be general, but what we need to focus on is the root cause, the root. So which is why when you are witnessing some symptoms, you don't self-medicate. You need to test to know, go and see your doctor to be sure, to run tests to be able to diagnose properly. A lot of times people die more from even wrong diagnosis than the ailment itself. So that's one hand. But for most ailments that we find that people have after the age of 35 and above, most of them have their root causes to these 3 numbers. Most, not all. So you need to make sure that you check your blood pressure constantly, and if it is going out of range, you do what you need to do to make it drop.
Yeah.
Your blood sugar level, the same thing, and then your body mass index. Body mass index is a ratio between height and weight. By the time you are 35, I don't know what height you want to add again. You most likely have finished growing tall. So the only variable that you can control for body mass index is weight.
Your weight.
You get. So you need to make sure that your weight is such that when you compute your body mass index, it is between 18.5 and 24.5. That is healthy weight. Anything after that is obese. It's overweight and then obese.
It can be underweight as
underweight is below 18. So I'm saying anything above 25. Anything between 25 and 30 is overweight. 30 and above is obesity. Right? If these 3 numbers are not watched, the amount of complications that can happen. Let's step back, and I'm trying to be very careful and choose my words, because some of these things, different research come up with different findings. But at the beginning of COVID-19, right, you would hear that people that have COVID-19, some people live through
Yes.
and some people die. And they say most of the people that die have underlying issues. Those underlying issues, most of them are tied to these 3 numbers. So you see people that's why older people die.
Yes.
Yeah, because as you grow older, chances of diabetes, high blood pressure, and all that, they're higher. So that's why older people, because the way that God has created the body, God created the body in systems. There are different systems. You have the skeletal system that helps you stay erect. There's the nervous system that helps you with. There are different systems. There's circulatory system, and there's also a defense system. That defense system is your immune system. So the immune system is what. So let me use a simple analogy. It's like a country having an army. So your immune system is your army. The soldiers are the white blood cells. Right? They have different functions. There are the ones that scout and look for new diseases, engulf, and I'm not going to use terminologies here because I'm trying to be as simplistic as possible. They're the ones that go out and get the enemies. They're the ones that, their job is any foreign body that comes into the body, they study it, look at the weaponry, and develop means of battling it if it comes in full. So that part is vaccination. What vaccination is you take a known disease that is weakened, put it in your body so that your white blood cells, those parts of your can study it and see how does it operate, what can it build to fight it when it comes. So that's why it's important to be vaccinated against all this, because what you are doing is preempting your body's defense system to be ready, to be battle ready in case that attack comes. So those ones old age. Phagocytes are the ones that engulf and fight, and so you have different ones that have different functions. Now, the strength, just as you have that, the strength of a country is directly proportional to the strength of its army. The strength of your immune system, your body's defense system, the strength lies in the strength of your immune system.
Yeah.
Right? So aside from watching those numbers, you also need to be deliberate about things that boost your immune system.
I want to ask a quick question. I mean, being an entrepreneur yourself,
Yes.
And I'm an entrepreneur as well. So a lot of times I hear entrepreneurs say, "Who has time for that? You don't have time." Entrepreneurship can be very, very demanding. They tell people that if you think that you are stressed in your career, which is a 9 to 5, entrepreneurship is, for most people, they say it's 247.
Yeah.
Some people cannot even draw the line between the time that they give to their business and the time that they give to themselves or even their families. So in your own, life as an entrepreneur, can you just tell us how you have been able to take out time to take care of your health, to watch your numbers? You would tell an entrepreneur to register in a gym and they're like, who has time for that? You tell them to sleep and rest. They're like, sleep is for the weak. When other people are working, you are sleeping. That's why you can't make it. All of these things, we hear them over and over again. So people have. So how did you manage to work yourself to make sure that you take care of your health?
So I don't know. So my background, right?
Okay.
For secondary school, I went to a military school. And it was the beginning of the training. So military school is very, very, very tough. You wake up at 4 a.m. You are engaged all through the day. There's this saying, the way and manner you do what you need to do is entirely your own business. So that's one part. And then before going into full-blown entrepreneurship, I worked for 15 years in corporate Nigeria. And in 2 of those organizations, all the places I worked was high octane environments, pressure, because it was pressure organization, and I worked under 2 bosses that were very, very bank is
Bank?
part of one of them, financial institutions.
I had to just chip that in.
Yeah, so I had 2 bosses that were very, very demanding, very intense,
right,
for lack of a better choice of words. And the first one was very early on in my career. I was single then and everything. And man, the pressure, she put so much pressure on you that you'll be so confused that you can't even spell your name. So, I mean, I had this mentor that used to say, look, whatever it is you're doing, once you leave the four walls of this place, just dust it off. It's all part of the job. Even if somebody's putting pressure on you, it's on the job. It's not personal. Where you would feel bad and feel overpressurized is when the person sees you on the road and they are, putting that pressure on you. But if whatever you are discussing is on the job, then it's fine. So that kind of like prepared me for entrepreneurship. What makes me able to, deliberate about taking care of myself is sometimes you need to look at the bigger picture, right? Most times people just think that their business is about making money. But if you see your business about making money, you wouldn't even have that motivation to move on. So for me, there are a couple of things that I look at, and it makes me realize that, I need to be sharp and on point for this thing to keep going. I look at the people that work for the company, that they depend on the salaries to feed their family, right? I look at the suppliers, the farmers that we buy raw materials from. There's one of my suppliers, if I don't call him in a week, he will call me to find out. It's just that the guy is not really educated. I'm sure that in December he would have given me a hamper because of the kind of business that we do with him. So those kind of people depend on you for their own business. You look at, sometimes there's this customer that called from Asaba. He called, and one of our products for blood pressure called and was like, he cannot find this thing on the shelf. I said, well, maybe we don't have it. He said, no, you have to have it. So that he's been battling with blood pressure for 29 years.
Wow.
From 30 to 59, because it was 59 at that time. And this is the only thing that he has taken, that he has seen that he doesn't get the spikes. So wherever it is, we have to waybill it from Lagos to him. So, and there are people like that call. If they don't see the products, they call. So it's more than just money. And I just realized that we need to keep going. I need to stay healthy. Aside that, there's family as well.
Yes.
I have my kids that, they need me to be healthy so that I can enjoy that relationship. So you need to look at, there needs to be a bigger reason why you want to be healthy. And to your own point of gym, I don't do gyms.
Right.
So people think that you have to go to the gym and lift everything to be healthy. No. I try to do 10,000 steps a day.
That's good. Yeah.
10,000 steps a day is more than enough. If you can't do that, you can skip at night, skip in the morning, skip at night. I try things like of course, because one of our products is for weight loss and flat tummy, I can't be promoting that kind of product and I'm out of shape. So I try intermittent fasting, right? I try intermittent fasting. Sometimes I fast on Tuesdays and Thursdays so that all the food that I've eaten, goes down. I try intermittent fasting as well. Try to delay my breakfast and make my dinner early so that my body, when I'm at sleep, which is the time that you
work
exactly.
That meant to do.
So other things that people can do is portion control. So whenever you are eating, make sure that mentally divide your tummy into 3: 1 part food, 1 part water, 1 part air. So you are eating to
don't
live.
feel the whole thing.
Yes, some people will eat. When they finish eating, it's like it's like a snake that swallowed a goat. They are just there.
Snake that swallowed a goat.
When a snake swallows something very big, they are there. They can't move. You've eaten. You cannot breathe. You cannot. You're punishing yourself. So there must be space for air and space for water, so that even after eating you are still comfortable. You can, so that's one. Then your plate, as we're growing older, a lot of people say, me, this diet, I don't do any diet, I eat everything, but it's just in proportion. Sometimes I just treat myself. I'll give an example. Yesterday I went to one of these eateries that do a variety and all, and I bought pounded yam, egusi soup and protein. I just made sure that the pounded yam was 1 wrap, but the soup was plenty and the protein too was plenty. You need to divide your plate. That's plate control, right? 50% of your plate should be veggies, 20% carbs, 30% protein. So you can eat anything.
I think we should on that note we should go on a quick
Yeah,
break.
we need to.
Yes, because people need to digest that. So 50, 20,
30.
30, 50%.
Then your stomach into three, one part air, one part
air,
water.
one part. Amazing. All right, so we're going on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll delve in deeper into this and then open the phone lines for questions.
For your true urban lifestyle station, High Impact 102.1 FM.
Looking for something away from the regular? Television shows that will keep you glued to your screen? Then High Impact TV is your best choice. We give you the best television shows, educative and entertaining programs. Keep a date with our breakfast show, Tea or Coffee. Weekdays 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Newspaper review. Weekdays 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Midday special. Weekdays from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. We also keep you informed with news around the globe every day 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Also, we have exciting shows like Babbles, Fashionista, SLR, Vibes, Young Boss, and much more for everyone only on High Impact Television. Catch up with us on Star Times Channel 145, High Impact TV, securing the future.
Every patriotic Nigerian should hear this. Any politician who means well for the people will never allow themselves or their supporters to engage in any violent, destructive activities. No politician who truly wants to serve the people and develop the nation will encourage his followers to destroy properties or take human lives before, during, or after the elections. The Nigerian public must watch out for these traits and isolate any politician who encourages supporters to engage in violence. No genuine politician or patriot will cause trouble and seek to destroy the very society which they aspire to lead or develop. Politicians who have the good of the people at heart will not allow themselves or their followers to engage in violence, destruction of properties, and then taking of lives. Be vigilant. By their words you shall know them. Shun violence. Stay away from politicians who want you to do so. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NORA.
Put a touch of class and finesse on your brand by advertising with us at High Impact 1021 FM. For more information,
call 0706 393 5694, 0915 958 1881, or 0902 745 3931.
Follow us on our social media platforms at High Impact 1021 FM. Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
The Urban Radio with the pause. Can you feel the pause?
Yes, of course.
What's our name?
High Impact
102.1 FM.
The business terrain can be tough, challenging, and murky. You need to be armed with superior intelligence, resilience, and knowledge to be able to triumph. Do you desire to thrive in business and become a reference point? Then join us every Monday on High Impact Radio 102.1 FM for TLIG, the Land is Green Business Show. Showtime is on Monday from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mopolu Shade, Shonaike, and Kehinde Ajose are your hosts. It promises to be educated, empowering, and thought-provoking.
Welcome back from the break. This is still the Land is Green Business Show on High Impact Radio 102.1 FM. We still have with us Mr. Usman Imana, CEO of Friska Farms. We've been having a very engaging conversation so far. It's been very enlightening. And so I want to know, how do one strike the balance between, which I mentioned earlier, she spoke about the desire to, most entrepreneurs just also chase the money and they don't find time to rest. So what would be your advice? What tips would you give them as regards intentionally taking time to, creating that time to rest?
Like I said earlier, you need to, beyond chasing the money, you need to see the bigger picture of why, you are entrepreneuring and the ecosystem that you serve, the value chain that depends on you. You need to understand that you need to be healthy and sharp for you to be able to support these people. There needs to be something that you care about deeply that ties into what you are doing, that will push you to even want to take care of yourself. The truth is, no matter how, I hear things like, somebody says that if you sleep now, what will you now do when you are dead? I've heard those kind of comments before. That no. The truth is, if you pass on, it's one of two things that will happen. It's either the business will crumble or somebody else will take it over. But the world will not stop because you did not take care of yourself and you have passed on. The world will move on.
But how important is sleeping right now? I know it sounds cliche, people say sleep, but people have heard a lot of motivational speakers and people say you don't
sleep now, suffer later.
The sleep is for lazy people.
So I'm not going to do just sleep. Let me just take some healthy habits that you should imbibe.
Okay.
So first is, as an entrepreneur, so there's sleep and there's quality sleep, right? Quality sleep. I was watching something somewhere. It said, when you make money, one of the things that you should invest in is your bed and your beddings. Where you sleep needs to be comfortable. So even if you are sleeping for 4-5 hours, it should be quality sleep.
Quality sleep.
You cannot be sleeping. There are you are sleeping and then one generator is going up and down. You are in your dream. You are in your sleep. Even if you sleep for 10 hours, you'd have not rested.
All right, so we have a call. Hello? Oh, I think we've lost the call.
Hello,
Okay,
good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
Aki from Medbreda.
Okay, Aki. Good afternoon.
You guys
Welcome
were
back
not
with
present last week.
We apologize.
You weren't present last week.
Election fever.
It's okay.
We
okay.
apologize.
We understand. Okay. Very quickly.
Yes.
3 weeks ago, you and your guest, you took a swipe at me when I was talking about God or no God. You misunderstood me. That is not what I was trying to say. Actually, your guest made a comment which I was trying to, but she misunderstood me. But anyway, that's over. Let's move away from that. Okay. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon,
so I've been following the movement of the ship since when you started. So I just have 2 questions. Now, when you started, we talk about lifestyle. You said our lifestyle could impact negatively on us. But there is this group you forgot to mention, and those are the group that inherited some elements like gene. I've seen a 5-year-old child with hypertension. What was she thinking about? Is inheritance. I've seen a 10-year-old boy as obese. Yes, they may be taking junk, but it's inheritance. So you left out those groups. What do you see on that? Then question number 2. Just now you mentioned about sleeping. At least you said we are entitled to 8 hours of sleep. I can assure you it is not possible here. Maybe in homes, our homes, so outside Lagos, but in Lagos it's not possible. Because when you come home at 11 p.m. and you are working in Aja, I need to wake up by 4 by. I mean. So let me leave you to address that while I listen to you at the other side.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Aki.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yes. Okay, so I think that I captured the first group you were talking about. I said that there are some cases that there are
other factors.
I
remember.
Yeah. So it's not that we've not. I actually those people were put into consideration. I just didn't dwell on them. So there are people that have genetic disorders. I think that was what I used. Genetic disorders. Those that is really you can't.
They can be managed.
They can be managed, but not with the one size fit all.
Yes.
That we are talking about now. We're talking about entrepreneurs that are generally, things are generally okay. Yes. and all that. So those are the ones that I'm talking about now. But of course, there are people that have genetic disorders. There will always be outliers in any conversation that you have in any group. There will be outliers that have specific conditions. But right now, let's focus on the general. Right.
But even then, sorry to cut you, because I mean, growing up, I've always known my dad to be hypertensive from day one, because it's a genetic thing.
Yes.
So I think being aware, if you have been aware of your numbers, also helps, because he has always managed it. We've never had any crisis or anything, but he's been aware, and he has always been on medication. So whether you have the underlying or not, you just need to know, because there's some people who probably have those and they don't even know, because they don't check. Because they don't even check.
And you see, these things, they are not. So the blood pressure is not something that you can peg and say it's there. It's determined by, it's dependent on many external factors. You know, if, God forbid, you know, somebody gets into so much debt, right? Debt that they cannot come out of. And you know, there's so much pressure and all that. The blood pressure will go up, right? So how do you say that? How do you?
I need us to even go deeper into that depth matter. But before then, let me just call up the phone numbers for those who are listening. In case you're just joining us, we have with us today Mr. Usman Imana, and we are talking about health for entrepreneurs, how to ensure that you take care of your health and your well-being and all of that. And he has shared with us so many things, why it's important, the numbers to look out for. Don't be eating like a foodlum.
That's the word, foodlum.
Yes, don't eat like a foodlum. You do not need all of that. And he has given us many, many important tips. So if you'd like to join the conversation or ask questions, the numbers to call are 0700 1021 1021. Again, 0700 1021 1021. If you're a WhatsApp person, you prefer to send us a WhatsApp message. There's a WhatsApp line dedicated to this, and it's 0907 224 5018. We're also live on YouTube. YouTube is High Impact 102.1 FM, so you can interact and engage with our guest. Before I cut him, yes, we were talking about, because we were talking about it outside, and I've been waiting to bring it up. This issue of debt, right? There's some people that, I mean, before we came in, I said it was trending 2 weeks ago of a woman who, unalived herself because she was owing 200,000 naira, a market woman. And everybody was like, 200,000 naira. We have different, some put 2 million, some put 3 million. How do you manage those? Because, I mean, health is, when we talk about well-being, is all round. Physical, emotional, mental. Yes, so this debt matter. Because base is not... Base. Nobody likes base. Especially if the bank is chasing you, threatening you.
Please, just one more thing for the first caller. So, people that have genetic disorders, just one advice is to have a doctor's number on speed dial. They need to have a closer relationship with their physician, and that would guide them on how to. It's just because they have those disorders doesn't mean that the world has ended. Science and medicine has evolved that they can live healthy and normal like every other people, but they just have to maintain a close relationship with their doctors. And then sleep is important. You might be, you get home at 11, have to leave at 4 a.m. God forbid, if you don't wake up the next day, life goes on. So you just need to find a way. It's priorities. If you
can
don't
take short breaks. Sleep in the...
But you need to find a way to. Those numbers need to add up. You need to rest, and it has to be quality sleep. So to debt.
Yes.
So there are different types of debt, right? There's debt for consumption and debt for business. People that take debt for consumption, maybe to do party or live the life, show up and maintain a kind of status that they are not able to sustain. I'm sorry, you're on your own, because you got yourself into that hole, so you have to deal with it. But what I'm going to talk about is debt for business. You've raised capital to do a particular kind of business and you did not divert the funds. You put the monies into the business. Probably your model did not work with the market, or the timing was wrong, or the operating environment.
Yes.
Yeah. So it is explainable as to why that debt has come. That kind of debt, right? Because I think almost every entrepreneur has that one or two debts that they are servicing, one that has gone bad at some point, and it's just unfortunate that in this part of the world we criminalize debt. Ideally, for me, I think that any debt you are taking should be insured, and if it should be insured. Yeah,
I don't think that for the first time.
Yes.
What do you mean by it should be insured?
When you take a business loan, there's an insurance that you pay. So that insurance is supposed to be that if it goes bad, because the truth is, insurance is for circumstances beyond your control.
Yes.
So, for instance, you take a loan to run a business. You've submitted your business plan. You have everything works out fine.
Yes.
But you started the business and COVID.
Yeah, like COVID did.
And you're not able to run it anymore.
Yes.
How do you explain? So, insurance is supposed to come in, and then that's why you see that governments do bailouts and all, because there are things that are beyond your control. Right? Sometimes there was one debt reconciliation meeting that I was having, and then the credit officer was saying and I was appealing with him. They said, but you should have done this. There's something I told him. I said, sir, person where they use mouth drive motor, they get accidents. You can, it's sweet, it's coming out of your mouth like
I love that.
But
when you
step in and try it and see if from your mouth is the same thing that is applicable. So it's easy to run a business in your head, but when you start to run it in reality, you start to see things as they are. For me, the key to managing debt is one, never ignore the calls of the person that you are owing. It's disrespectful. You are owing somebody, they call you, the least you can do is pick up their call and
but what if, I need us to be a bit practical, what if the individual is very, very, how would I put it now, very, very aggressive, very, very
aggressive,
shouting on
by
you?
Aggressive, is there a knife on your neck?
We have a caller. Let's just quickly take this call. Good afternoon, your name and where you're calling from.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Aki,
welcome back, sir.
I was giggling when the doctor was talking about what of when you sleep and you never wake up. What happened to your job? So true. The job will still stay.
Yes.
But your prescription about sleep is maybe for people like you who are broadcasters and who are doctors, you can wake up at any time. But for those of us who are factory workers, you don't have luxury of sleep. Then let's leave that and go to feeding, to food. You also talk about how your food needs to be full of veggie and cabbage and all the way.
Veggie doesn't have to be cabbage, Mr. Aki, it doesn't have to be cabbage. Eforiro wambe, tete wambe. Ugu is there.
Bitter leaf is vegetable.
Just hold on, I am going somewhere.
Okay, sir.
Have we heard of the food called 6 to 6?
Doctor, 6 to 6.
Okay, no, you've not.
No.
Oh, okay. 6 to 6 is fufu, bread and beans, yam and beans. These are food when you take it 6 in the morning, it lasts you to 6 in the evening. That's why we call it 6 to 6. So for those of us who are doing strenuous job, let's get realistic now. I'm not being funny. I'm just telling you what you're telling me. For those of us who are doing strenuous job and who don't have luxury of break, this is what we eat.
So that's
because your break is around 1.
Can I respond?
Yes, around 1. So to sustain, you need to take heavy food. We know it is not nutritional. We know, but then That's why you call
Something
it
that will hold you.
to sustain us.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Mr. Aki.
yeah.
So just stay tuned as doctor responds. to
Okay.
that. Thank you.
First of all, let me correct something. I am not a doctor. so I'm not a doctor. So what he has said, right? It's not an issue. See, the thing is, it's not even about what you take in. So if you can take in more carbs, if you can burn it.
Yeah.
So if you are doing
So
heavy work,
it
it means that you are burning that carbs that you are.
Because really, if you've
Yeah.
seen people
If you're
working on
in
site,
factory
they're
and
always very fit.
somebody
Six
cannot
pack,
be
everything.
somebody cannot be carrying pong pong and you say you should be eating cabbage.
Vegetable.
You want to kill the person. It doesn't make sense. So if you are doing heavy work, you eat heavily and you will burn it. So it's a zero-sum game. If you are going to eat a lot, then be ready to
burn
it. Exercise. So people that go to gym and are doing high impact exercise,
Exercises.
they would eat. They can. They can. But we're talking generally of people, a particular type of lifestyle.
Yes.
That's why we're doing the 30 20 50.
Yeah.
But if you are a weightlifter or a laborer or construction worker, man, you have to eat well. If you follow this 30-20, I'm sorry, it's not going to
So
work.
we'll follow Mr. Aki 6 to 6.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll try to tie everything together, take a few more calls, and then we'll call it a day. Stay.
Don't set the standards. We call the standard. The frequency is 102.1.
Ade, where are you cruising this weekend?
Omo, I'm lounging on High Impact Cruise.
What's that?
Oh, you haven't heard about Eugene 1? A luxurious ultra-modern 4-story yacht. Omo, me and Dele chop life. Fabulous music. Then live band play. 3-course meal and different exotic drinks on top Lagos water. For 4 hours.
So how far now? What's the level?
You too can come on a cruise and have an unbeatable experience on the waters of Lagos. Dance, drinks, and 3-course meals on Eugene 1. Call 0705-095-5987 or 0806-483-1491. Now for bookings.
Guy, I'm coming with you.
Ha, no. I already arranged with Pat now.
You mean my part?
High Impact Cruise. Dream, discover, explore.
Every patriotic Nigerian should hear this. Any politician who means well for the people will never allow themselves or their supporters to engage in any violent, destructive activities. No politician who truly wants to serve the people and develop the nation will encourage his followers to destroy properties or take human lives before, during, or after the elections. The Nigerian public must watch out for these traits and isolate any politician who encourages supporters to engage in violence. No genuine politician or patriot will cause trouble and seek to destroy the very society which they aspire to lead or develop. Politicians who have the good of the people at heart will not allow themselves or their followers to engage in violence, destruction of properties, and then taking of lives. Be vigilant. By their words you shall know them. Shun violence. Stay away from politicians who want you to do so. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NORA.
The business terrain can be tough, challenging, and murky. You need to be armed with superior intelligence, resilience, and knowledge to be able to triumph. Do you desire to thrive in business and become a reference point? Then join us every Monday on High Impact Radio 102.1 FM for TLIG, the Land is Green Business Show. Showtime is on Monday from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mopolu Shade, Shonaike, and Kehinde Ajose are your hosts. It promises to be educated, empowering, and thought-provoking.
Welcome back. Before we went on break, we were having an engaging discussion with our guest, Mr. Usman Imana. We had a call from Mr. Akin, who opened our eyes to 6 to 6. Talking about your health, wellness as an entrepreneur, why it's important, and all of that. And before we went on break, Mr. Usman was trying to break down handling debt, because debt is one of the things that lands people in the hospital. Yes. Sometimes, we talk about how some people some people have anxiety once they see the call of their creditor on their phone. Their heart is, shaking and all. So, just share with us ways to deal with this. I know the first tip you said was don't ignore
the person's call. It's disrespectful. Pick the person's call and be polite. You must have a plan to pay the person back.
Okay.
So if you've taken, and remember that this debt I'm talking about is debt used in business. So this is not for you if you diverted the money that is supposed to use for a business, use it to buy another car or something. So the other thing is you need to be able to demonstrate to the person that this money that you collected entered the business. The reason why you are not able to pay is because of this, and this. And this is the plan that you have. And carry the person along. Right?
Sorry, what if the person doesn't want to stick to your plan?
Is the person going? If the person kills,
can't stick to your plan. You have a plan. Say you want to pay, say around April 30th, 2023. And the person say, I want to collect my money by March 30th. By March 30th.
By March 30th. So the thing is, what will make somebody say that is when they see that money is coming in. But if you are looking at a business, nothing, you are looking at it, this is the money that comes in. The person sees the financial, this is what comes in. Except they want to sell something or take some. There are some people that are unreasonable.
Yeah.
You have those kind of people.
Like some of these credit apps.
Yeah.
I would say RIP. I mean, I know of one that sent a picture of someone who was owing them to his contacts and put RIP, rest in peace, because of debt.
Yeah, so another thing again is to know where you
collect the loan.
Debt from.
Yes.
So we are assuming that this debt is from organizations that are reasonable. So there are a lot of assumptions here.
Yeah. Yes.
The another thing is to find a way to refinance. There are some people that are very, very unreasonable. So you might want to look at options of refinancing. Some you see how you can restructure. Restructuring of debt as well. So the debt is bad and all that. You look for some money, put it and spread it again such that it's comfortable for you to pay. As an entrepreneur, there are two things that I learned later in life. It will cost you, but you must, and I think three people that you must have that you speak to all the time.
Right.
One is your doctor for your health. The other one is your lawyer so that you don't sign your life away. Then the third one is a financial advisor. You'll be surprised at the financing options and the kind of financial engineering that you can do that can get you out of debt. So you need to surround yourself. So there's this thing they call your mastermind group. Another person you need to have is somebody that is very good in sales.
Okay.
Because sales solves every sickness that a business has.
Yes.
If you can sell properly, you can sell your way out of debt.
Yes.
You understand? So you need to have those four people
in your
corner that you can speak to, that have your interest at heart. Some of these things that I'm saying is because of conversations that I've had with financial advisors, with people that are friends that are lawyers. You can get a lot of this information you have to pay for, but if you have the right set of friends, you get them for free.
Wow.
So you don't necessarily have to,
put them on retainership.
If
you can afford it, yes. If you can't, look for people that you probably went to university with that studied that in this field.
And put them in
your network and put them in your mastermind.
And then these things you are giving them something to
have something to offer. Something of value.
Yeah, something of value as well.
But the thing is to look at the debt objectively. Now, this is why I always emphasize on the fact that the debt is for business and it's not monies that was diverted.
Not for Faji.
Not for Faji, not monies that was diverted. You need to look at it and understand that. So sometimes I tell myself that, okay, yeah, this thing, we got into debt because of this business, but the business is still running. Have we made progress? Yes. Is there a future for the business? Yes. So we will come out of it. And then sometimes when I'm getting depressed, there's a channel on YouTube that I watch. It's on people that started big businesses. I've watched up to more than 100, and I've not seen any big business
that did not go
through the challenges. So sometimes you watch it and say that, okay, this is part of the process.
This thing you've said is very, very important, and I don't want us to just rush over it, because so there are times when you find yourself in that deep hole, almost going into that deep hole of depression. So you read books or look at other people who have gone ahead of you. And
sometimes
it encourages
you see that, you know, the path to success, people think that is a straight line. It's jaga jaga.
Now real jaga jaga.
The path to success is jaga jaga.
Jaga jaga is never straight. So when you read other people's stories,
you lift yourself up again.
Lift yourself up. There was a time that, you know, I had it so bad, and then I was in a hole. Let's say the hole that I was trying to fill. Let's say for the purpose of this engagement is 100 naira. And I went to see one of my friends that, you know, is high up there and said, dude, I can't do this. This and that. Then he now told me that, look, that he, you know, is a director in one organization that he just recently, he did a transaction that was 850. And everything went up in smoke. He said, "Shebi my own. The people that I'm talking to, they are seeing my products on the shelf. They are seeing it in places, so they know that. But this one is a transaction that there's nothing to even hold." He said he couldn't sleep for 3 days. He had to take medication to sleep, and then he started thinking, "Look, how am I going to solve this problem?" So sometimes those kind of situations are what make you strong.
Yes.
Right. It's those kind of situations that make you strong. Again, I will always emphasize, it has to be that debt was not
for Faji.
It was not for Faji, or you diverted funds. If those are the reasons for this, is not for you. This is for people that took monies genuinely, and the operating environment and probably some of their projections did not.
But let's leave this Faji thing that you're saying now, because now I'm trying to play. Let me put myself in some people's shoes, especially for all these small business owners, you know, especially women. Many times you take a loan to do something, and a domestic emergency comes up. So, for instance, somebody is sick now. In fact, I had a class I was taking one time. Someone told me that she had just gotten one of these funds that they get from whatever. She had gotten a fund from one of these organizations, and her husband was aware. And meanwhile, their children had been out of school for a while. They could not pay school fees. So it's like, this money is there in your account. Why can you, this evil woman? How can you be so evil? Blah, blah, blah. It's just part of it now. Shebi will put it back. Pay these school fees, you know. And she paid. So such a person now, if the thing goes bad and all that, because, you know, we are saying this diversion of funds.
Yeah.
It can happen to anybody.
But it's diversion of funds.
But
we're talking like this because we're in Nigeria. But it's diversion of funds, because the truth is, if you were the person that loaned somebody the money and the person used it for something else, and you now need the money to pay your own students' school fees, how would you feel?
True.
It's diversion of. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, but you told somebody, it's an integrity thing. You told somebody, give me money, I want to use it for this, and you took it to do something else. You could have gone to meet that person to beg for money for school fees. You didn't do that. You told, so the person had the liberty to say, okay, I can give you money for school fees.
It's a tough world out there.
But you went to tell somebody that you needed money for X and you used it
business.
for Y. Even if you carried that money and you put it in church, you still diverted money.
Yeah, that one is another. Let's not
You
even
diverted
go there.
money.
Let's not even go
because
there.
you could have asked the person for money for what you wanted.
But what if you sow into the ministry?
You're
hoping
Pastor
that,
Kenny,
and you're hoping
you
that,
sold into the ministry.
and you're hoping that there will be an increase.
Come and meet me and ask me for money for ministry. Let me give you for money for ministry. But don't
tell me.
Even the Lord will not be happy with you that you went to meet somebody and deceived him.
And then you're not bringing the money to come and sow.
No, you're going to pay back when you get an increase.
That is not the issue. That's not the issue. The issue is that when you are collecting it, what did you say? It's an integrity thing.
Yeah.
You know, so let's, you know, we are very sentimental in Nigeria.
Yes.
Things happen, we say, oh, leave them, this or that.
It's
And
not
probably
their
that's
fault.
why we are where we are.
Okay, we have a caller.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Your name and where you're calling from. Hello. Oh, okay, we've lost the caller. And we are running out of time. We have to tie everything that we have been saying together. If you're just joining, we have Mr. Usman Imana of Friska Farms with us. We're talking about managing your health and wellness as an entrepreneur, and he has shared so many important points to note. Before we try to pick that call, we're talking about debt, how you should not let debt tip you over.
Yes,
everybody's owing.
Yes.
So as we try to close, would you give us your top wellness? I mean, as an entrepreneur, what are the top tips for managing your health and ensuring that you stay alive for your suppliers, for your family, for your business, and all of those things? Yeah.
So there are a couple of healthy habits that if you are able to follow, you would eliminate a lot of these ailments.
Yeah.
First is your diet.
Okay.
You need to eat well.
Watch your diet.
Make sure that if your diet is typical Nigerian diet, you need to find a way to get supplements that can give you the macro and micronutrients that we do not have in those foods as one. 2, try and stay hydrated. Water. 3, sleep. 4, exercise. 5, try to find healthy ways of managing stress. 6, okay.
In fact, this is
six.
We got more than we asked for.
6.
That's Jara. Yeah.
If you are able to stay away from alcohol and smoking, if you are able to, because they are tied to a lot of these ailments. I'm not demarketing any brand, but I'm just talking because of health. Try and stay away from these things. Caffeine as well. There are some things that you should not abuse. In fact, anything you are taking, if you take it even water, too much water safe.
Absolutely.
Has its impact. So everything in moderation. Everything in moderation. And just try and create time. And also, one more thing, watch your mental health.
Absolutely.
Right? People that bring you down, toxic people, narcissistic people, you need to build barriers around yourself. Don't allow these people into your mental
health. We have to have a whole show on this, because this thing that you just mentioned like this is very deep. Toxic and narcissistic people. Even identifying them and learning how to build the boundaries. That's
being able to draw the line between taking feedback and avoiding conversations with toxic and narcissistic people, because there's a way you would avoid those things and then you are not even taking constructive feedbacks. So being able to differentiate between constructive feedback and somebody just being toxic and narcissistic. So that's also very important.
All right. Unfortunately, we've come to the end of today's show, even though there have been some really, really heavy nuggets on this show. Yes. And we appreciate you for coming. Thank you, Mr. Usman. Join us again next week, same time, same station, on Monday next week, High Impact Studios. Thank you for joining. Thank you.
Never forget. Always remember, the future is now. High Impact 102.1 FM.
From Lagos, Nigeria, and the universe, this is the